Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Read the Reader's Digest article that inspired Rick Lagina to hunt for treasure on the Curse of Oak Island. The Curse of Oak Island star Rick Lagina was just 11 years old when he picked up an edition of Reader's Digest, and first his eyes on an article that would change his life forever. The January 1965 edition of the publication, which was at the time the best-selling magazine in the United States, included an article reprinted from the Rotarian magazine and written by David MacDonald. Its title? Oak Island's Mysterious Money Pit. The subheading, enough to entice any 11-year-old worth their salt, and any mystery-loving adult for that matter, added, "There is something down there, but for 170 years no one has been able to solve the riddle of how to get at it." He didn't know it yet, but for the young Rick, who like his younger brother Marty loved adventure stories like the Hardy Boys books, that article sealed his future. The Reader's Digest story was in fact the same one that sparked an interest in the Oak Island mystery in fellow treasure hunter and the Curse of Oak Island star Dan Blankenship, who moved to the island the same year it was published. The article delved into how the famous money pit was first discovered by 16-year-old Daniel McInnes, all the way back in 1795, when he stumbled across an odd depression at one end of the island. McInnes and two of his friends, Tony Vaughan and Jack Smith, then found mystery oak platforms every 10 feet down as they dug deeper and deeper into the ground. The article went on to chronicle the massive and repeated efforts by various teams over the decades to try and find out just what is down there. Booby traps, deaths, $1,500,000 at the time, already spent on trying to uncover the island's secrets. This story had it all. The article also included a diagram showing what had been found at various depths in the money pit, and included a picture of a prominent oak tree that used to sit at the top, which has since gone. The article ended with a 1955 quote from petroleum engineer George Green, who had spent time drilling on the island for a syndicate of Texas oilmen. It said, "Someone went to a lot of trouble to bury something here, and unless he was the greatest practical joker of all time, it must have been well worth the effort." And so with that sentence did the little Rick Lagina set off into a future that would one day see him and his more skeptical brother Marty find themselves at the center of the biggest treasure hunt the world has ever seen. The Reader's Digest article had a slightly different layout in the US and Canadian versions of the magazine, with it starting on page 136 of the American edition, and more prominently, on page 22 of the Canadian one. As Rick and Marty grew up in northern Michigan, it is more likely that the young Rick read the US version. You can also read the article online on the Reader's Digest site. Could you be the next person lured in by the mystery? In the mid-1960s, a young boy named Rick Lagina sat down with a copy of Reader's Digest. Little did he know that a short article nestled among its pages would forever change the course of his life, sparking a fascination that would pull him into the mystery of Oak Island, a small forested piece of land off the coast of Nova Scotia. The article in question, published in January 1965, was titled Oak Island's Mysterious Money Pit. It recounted the legend of an elusive treasure buried deep underground on Oak Island. As Rick scanned the article's words, his young imagination sparked to life. He could almost see the treasure hunters of old, digging feverishly into the earth, their picks striking ancient wood beams, their shovels uncovering strange clues, but never quite revealing the ultimate prize. That elusive treasure, rumored to be anything from pirate gold to religious relics, had slipped through the fingers of countless adventurers for over 200 years. The story begins in 1795 when a young man named Daniel McInnes, walking on Oak Island, noticed a strange depression in the ground near an old oak tree. With visions of pirates and treasure chests filling his mind, McInnes and his friends began digging. To their astonishment, they found evidence that something man-made had been buried deep below. Oak logs lined the pit every few feet, and as they dug deeper, they uncovered layers of clay, charcoal, and coconut fiber, materials not native to Nova Scotia. The article explained how, over the next 2 centuries, various treasure hunters tried to unlock the island's secrets. They dug deeper and deeper into what became known as the Money Pit, But just when they thought they were close to their prize, water would flood the shaft, as if Oak Island itself were protecting its hidden wealth. The pit seemed to have a life of its own, an ever-deepening mystery that swallowed up hope, money, and even lives. Reading this, Rick could barely contain his excitement. He felt a deep pull toward the adventure, the mystery, the unknown that Oak Island represented. As a boy growing up in Michigan, Rick had always been curious about the world. But this story was different. There was something about it that lodged itself in his mind, refusing to let go. The article spoke not just of treasure, but of the human spirit, the determination to uncover truth no matter the cost, the relentless pursuit of answers to the island's puzzle. As Rick grew older, the tale of Oak Island stayed with him. In his spare moments, he would think back to the article, its description of the search for treasure playing over in his mind like a movie. By then, he'd heard other stories of treasure hunts and mysteries, but none captured his imagination quite like Oak Island. The pit seemed cursed or enchanted. How could something so tantalizingly close remain hidden for so long? The more Rick thought about it, the more he became convinced that this mystery wasn't just a story in a magazine. It was something real, something that could be solved. The article had mentioned the various clues found over the years, mysterious inscriptions on stones, chains and links of gold found in the pit, reports of strange lights and apparitions on the island. All these things pointed to something extraordinary buried on Oak Island, something more than just pirate loot. As years passed, Rick's interest evolved from a childhood fascination into a full-blown obsession. He read more about Oak Island, diving into books, archives, and reports on previous expeditions. He studied the various theories that had been proposed over the centuries. Was the treasure the fabled hoard of Captain Kidd, the lost jewels of Marie Antoinette, or could it be something even more profound, like the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant? The Reader's Digest article had ignited his imagination, but Rick soon realized that the mystery of Oak Island went deeper than he had ever imagined. It wasn't just about treasure, it was about history, human ingenuity, and the very nature of secrets. The island itself seemed to defy explanation, its secrets hidden beneath layers of earth, water, and time. By the time Rick reached adulthood, he had shared his fascination with his younger brother Marty. Together they dreamed of one day exploring Oak Island themselves, not just as treasure hunters, but as explorers, seekers of knowledge and truth. For Rick, the hunt was never about the money or the gold. It was about discovery. It was about being part of something bigger, a quest that had spanned centuries. In 2006, that childhood dream became reality. Rick and Marty Lagina, backed by a team of experts, set foot on Oak Island, armed with modern technology and a passion that had been kindled by that Reader's Digest article so many years ago. They embarked on their own expedition, determined to uncover the island's secrets once and for all. The Reader's Digest article had done more than just tell the story of Oak Island. It had planted a seed of curiosity that grew into a lifelong pursuit. For Rick Lagina, the article was a gateway to adventure, a call to action that led him to the heart of one of history's greatest mysteries. The island had captured his imagination, and now it had captured his life. And even after years of searching, that sense of wonder and possibility remains as strong as ever. The treasure may still be hidden, but for Rick, the real treasure is the journey itself, the thrill of the hunt, the camaraderie of his team, and the hope that one day the secrets of Oak Island will be revealed. In the end, the legacy of that Reader's Digest article is not just a tale of buried gold, but of a man driven by curiosity, determination, and an unshakable belief that some mysteries are worth chasing, no matter how elusive they may seem.